Hey guys, what's up? My name is Blue. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Right here behind me I have the love of my life, my angel, my baby. This is Jacob.
Hi.
Happy Pride, by the way. He's gonna go shower. So for this video, I'm gonna be talking about my experience with anxiety, and just a heads up, I don't have a degree, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just talking personally about my experience with anxiety, but I just want you to know that I don't know anything about nothing. That being said, let's get started. So I can pinpoint exactly where my anxiety comes from. I've had a lot of scenarios in my past where I've felt very insecure, and I think I'm going to talk about those and share those with you in a sec. And sorry if I keep looking down. I have this list and guide of what I'm going to say just because it's so easy for me to jump off one subject to the next, to the next, to the next, and I need a guide simply because my brain is all over the place. So how long have I had anxiety for? I've had anxiety for all my life. For those of you who don't know me, I was born with this condition called microtia. And basically, microtia is a congenital deformity that affects the ear, and I'm actually half deaf in my left ear, and I was born with this like smaller ear, basically. Yeah, so as a child, I felt different from the world. I had very narcissistic views. I was like, why me? Why was I born like this? It's so unfair that I have to live life like this. I got stuck in this very deep, deep pool of pity and sorrow that I was easily susceptible to contracting all these negative thoughts about myself. I'm very, very selfish. I didn't have the mental stability, mental development that I do have now. Like I said, I was stuck in this pool of pity, but luckily I know how to swim now. I'm also going to talk about certain instances where my triggers were triggered. Yeah, like I remember having this fear of nuns. Nuns made me feel so uncomfortable. I could never be around sisters, and I could trace it to the point where I was in Catholic school and I had a nun teaching a lesson, and she used me as an example for her lesson about some guy who gets his ear chopped off, and a student was like, oh, like him? And she was like, yeah, like him. And that day I went home and cried so hard just because I couldn't believe that because I guess the guy was like a bad guy, or I don't remember the story, but I just felt so hurt, and for months I was just like, I hate the church, and I just felt so uncomfortable with nuns. And now that I'm older, I'm just like, oh, that makes total sense because of what I experienced. Now I don't care about nuns, I don't care about the Catholic Church. And then another instance was with something that I just realized recently, was that I don't have the motivation, or I'm not easily inspired to talk to cis straight males, which can potentially be harmful for me in the future. And this is just like an honest conversation. I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. This is just me like telling you my experience. But basically, always went out of my way to talk to females, to women, just because they're, for me, easily to talk to. I'm a gay man, and it's just easier for me, and I'm actually working on that and realizing that for years I was judging by my fear, and it all stems from being a kid in school and having my hood pulled off. So it didn't matter if it was 100-degree weather or 40 degrees. I always had a hood on to hide my appearance from people. These like jock straight boys. I do this because I thought I was straight back then. Who knows? People change. It's 2019. These boys would pull my hood, and like I said, I would cry for months, and I just felt a lot of anger, and that anger turned into anxiety, and I just felt uneasy talking to straight men. Along the way, I've met so many incredible, so many smart men, and they've actually impacted my life. And it's like a coping mechanism that I used to have, but I'm learning and realizing that I'm not who I was back then. The story's not ended yet. There's more to me than my past. Also, visuals of the future terrified me, and I would constantly do that. I would create images in my head where people wouldn't love me. In middle school specifically, it was harder for me because at that age I was like, well, damn, I'm gay as shit. Like I like guys, and I grew up watching telenovelas. I'm Mexican. I come from a very traditional Mexican family. We would watch telenovelas. I always wanted that romance that you would see on the screen, the male and the female, but I never wanted the female. I wanted me a William Levy. I wanted a man. I always thought like that could never happen because one, I was born with my kosha, I feel different, I look different, my appearance is weird. Two, I come from a very, very traditional Mexican background. So for those of you who don't understand how hard it is for Latinx men to come out, it's super hard because you're dealing with years and years of tradition, machismo, gender roles. So that's already like in my brain, like I can never come out, I can never be gay, and that depressed me. Yeah, it was just very triggering for me, thinking about the future and how I'll never be happy. That kind of spiraled me out of control and made me come to the conclusion that I wanted to get cosmetic surgery in middle school, and I did. I went through 4 big surgeries, and I had a really good time. You know, those surgeries weren't as scary as I thought they were. However, the idea of having to go through those surgeries because I didn't feel comfortable in society gave me anxiety. So now I had this like built internalized fear of hospital facilities. You know, fast forward to now, this year, I almost died, guys, because of my fear. I have ulcerative colitis, and I was going through a really bad flare, and I did everything in my power not to go to the hospital. I even dropped to the ground, and I was crying and sobbing, and my boyfriend was like, "Get up, we're going to the hospital," and I was like, "No, please," and I was crying. And guys, I was like so skinny and weak, and I couldn't even walk and talk basically, just because I was stubborn, and I came to the realization that I don't know anything. I don't know anything. My fear can be so controlling. I need to stop thinking with my feeling brain because it almost killed me basically. If I didn't go to that hospital, I would have died. I wouldn't be sitting here filming this video. So that was a very big mind shift for me, realizing that I don't know anything. If I can go back into my life and tell myself anything, it'd be that I'm not special, I'm not interesting, I don't have to be the prettiest person in the room, I don't have to be the smartest person in the room, the best good looking, just because I don't need that stress. I don't know anything. I would tell myself that you don't know anything. You don't know anything about the future. You don't know what's going to happen, because at that point it can be so easy for you to be stuck in this pool of pity and just spiral out of control, and you could be in that specific time and it'll feel like you're never going to achieve anything. And as cliche as this sounds, it does get better, and I'm a primary example of how it gets better. It's going to get worse, it's going to get bad for me. I'm always going to have problems. You're never going to not have problems. But as you get older, you're going to have better problems. If you learn how to change your mindset and realize that you don't know anything, you're going to have better problems, or better outlook on life. But at the same time, don't take my advice because I don't know anything. Yeah, so I was so set on realizing of who I am, and I knew who I was. I knew what was going to happen to me in the future. I knew I was going to be unhappy so much that I almost killed myself for it. Senior year of high school, I almost committed suicide. I planned it on a Friday, and it was Monday at that time, and I was giving like hints of like, oh, something's gonna come, and something's gonna come. And senior year, I thought it was like my last fight, because at this point I'm older already. I really like boys, and I came to the conclusion that I was gay, and taking all of that stress in and realizing that I could never be happy, I was set on that I was never gonna be happy, that I was gonna almost take my life. Like, I'm so stupid. I didn't know anything. I'm so selfish because I was so worried about me, and in reality probably no one gave a shit about me. So yes, if you're going through a hard time, realize that you're going through a hard time. Acknowledge that. Don't be avoidant. Don't try to be positive. You're going through a hard time, but you're going to go through a better time in the future, and you're going to go through hard times again. You know, I came out as gay, and I thought everything was good. You know, now that I'm older, I came out, I have a boyfriend. I never thought about I was gonna get sick and get an inflammatory bowel disease, but I did. Having ulcerative colitis probably was the best thing for me. I needed a fucking fire under my ass because I have to change my habits, change how I see myself, realize that I don't know shit, I'm not special, and soak in that you don't know everything, and feel how amazing it is to understand that you don't know anything. Like, you don't need to take the bait, you're not special, you maybe won't achieve greatness, but that's okay. Just chill, be you, have fun. I woke up this morning and decided that I wanted to make a video, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm having so much fun. I've already recorded this video like 4 times just because I smacked my lips here and there, and watching that back makes me laugh because I'm such an idiot. Yeah, having ulcerative colitis, I learned a lot. You know, how the gut and the brain are intertwined and how food has a major impact on your life. I can honestly say for months now I haven't felt anxious. The reason being, I don't eat processed sugar, I don't eat processed foods. Junk food I don't eat, I can't eat, and I feel great. Maybe I needed to go through ulcerative colitis to experience this, you know? You have to go through a pain to get success. I think I'm successful now. I think I'm very successful. I'm happy, I feel great, mentally. I still don't know shit. There's so much more that I'm gonna learn, and maybe I won't learn. But it's not my business to worry about the future. I don't know what I want to do. I'm just telling you my experience of how I'm eating right, and I'm eating just like whole foods because I have to, and it turns out it was the best decision that I ever did because I don't have anxiety anymore, I can self-reflect more. Yeah, I'm gonna end this video here because I'm hungry. I'm gonna make some eggs. But thank you guys so much for watching, and happy Pride, by the way. Bye.